Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here for the Soca Moms Summit. We have a panel that everybody's been looking forward to. It is the panel on the future of Caribbean music. You know, a lot of people are concerned. We're worried with Carnival season kind of being a wash. Are we going to get new music? Are we going to get to see people perform? What's going to happen? And we want to talk about revenue sources and just everything Caribbean music that's happening right now. So we're really, really lucky to have some amazing people to talk about this. We have AMC from Soul Aphrodisiac. We have Mikelah from Style and Vibes. Jamila from SocaSayso. And her partner in crime, Deanna from Dyschick.com. So we're going to jump right into it because we don't have a lot of time. As you see, the sessions are back to back, and we're just going to keep everything moving. Okay, so I'm going to throw out a question, and then they're going to get to it. So how do you feel that Caribbean artists have been dealing with what's going on? Like, to get their revenue going, to still be in front of their fans? What do you think they've been doing?
I think lately, actually, I've seen a lot of our artists actually jumping on doing the Instagram lives. They are doing them, which is fantastic. We can't just leave it up to hip hop, R&B, and all of them cats, even though they're my cats. But still, it's great to see. I know Teddyson John had something last week, which I totally missed, and I'm vexed about it. And there were a couple of others. There was also a St. Lucian DJ who was on for St. Lucia Live. So again, it's nice to see that they're coming out and they are actually doing their Instagram thing as well. Have you guys seen anybody else doing anything?
For sure. Pretty, Lyrical, a lot of Moto had his. I saw Miss Desire in London. A lot of, all these things right now are free. I think as far as monetizing, I don't know if the artists are doing it, but definitely the DJs are putting up their Cash App information so people can send a tip if they want, make a donation if they like. But so far, I haven't seen anything for the artists to really monetize these lives.
Yeah, and that's the tough thing. I think in that sense, we were
even said, that they're just doing this to keep their name, still in circulation so that people can stay familiar with them, know anything that they're working on. But I haven't seen them really taking advantage of the fact that people want to contribute, especially since you're providing sort of a service right now for those of us who are self-quarantined or staying inside. It's good to still be able to hear the music, see things still going on in the soca world. So yeah, I haven't seen them try to monetize it, but I think they're just kind of do awareness messaging, right? Just keep my name in the conversation.
I think what's interesting is also like the idea of pay-per-view. I think will make a comeback at some point because, if you look at Erykah Badu's situation where she promoted this event for $10 and then people couldn't find the link, like there are a lot of technical issues that are related to putting up something of quality that a lot of the artists are used to. So right now it's all about just promotion and staying relevant and, communicating with the fans, which is great. But I think just depending on how long this really goes, the Caribbean community is not opposed to the pay-per-view model because we've done it before. We've seen it with sound clashes or stage shows where they've charged a small fee in order to see, big performances. But at the same time, if you have 5 to 10 people congregating in a studio, are they really practicing social distancing? So, it definitely comes with a whole lot. I think the music industry as a whole will survive. I think the artists themselves will survive. I think the bandmates, the people who support the industry are really going to suffer the most. But the artists, I think that they'll be fine. Some are just taking a break, to be completely honest. I haven't heard a lot from dancehall or reggae artists apart from, public service announcement type challenges or situations. I've heard a few songs that have dropped and taken advantage of the whole TikTok challenge situation, but that's all promotion at this point. So from a revenue standpoint, the best thing consumers can really do is just subscribe, actually buy the music, whether you're listening on Spotify or Apple Music. It really depends also what is available in your country, because all of these streaming platforms aren't necessarily available. So a lot of the go-to for Caribbean artists is YouTube. So YouTube isn't necessarily a paid platform that you pay for music, but you can support it and support the artist by just listening, creating your own playlist, because they get money off the ads in that sense. And then from streaming, a lot of people have been creating playlists of their favorite artists. So I think it's cool. It's definitely a different dynamic. Are they taking advantage? No, but I don't see a lot of artists per se in any genre really taking advantage. I think the people that are winning are the producers and the DJs right now, which I think is okay because it's their time. So I think I love the idea of, the DJ is the one, keeping it going, and that to me, I think create almost solidifies their importance in, creating that community. They're the bridge between the artists and the community, and we're really seeing that online.
Yeah, they're part of the process. So without them, how are we going to get the music out there? How are people going to hear what everybody's putting out? So they're definitely part of the process. Just to piggyback what you were saying in terms of promotions, that's exactly what it is right now, and everybody should use that to their advantage. I've seen videos are still coming out for songs that we haven't, that we won't be privy to because a lot of carnivals have been canceled, etc. So songs are still coming out, artists are still putting out things. In terms of, let's say in terms of Soca, I was listening to Dr. J last week, and he was talking to Kerwin Dubois. And Kerwin had he made a good point where he said, the music that we make is not a local thing, and it's not just for Carnival, it's 24/7, and it's all year round. So he expects that everybody should have the same support and movement all year round. So I think it's really important for us to do the streaming, make the playlist, share the playlist, and do all of that in order to help, if you will, with the promotions, because that's the way the music gets out there and the way everybody will be able to listen and enjoy it.
I think right now it's eye-opening that a lot of people have been saying, oh, we don't have to wait for a carnival to release music. You can release it anywhere. But I think what I at least have been seeing is that people are really kind of paralyzed. They think, okay, well, I was waiting for this to happen for Jamaica Carnival. And I was waiting for that for St. Lucia, and these things aren't moving, or they're not happening. And so they're getting kind of really weird and not looking for new music. They're looking for mixes. They're not really looking for. So I think it's going to be a training period right now. Artists have to now actually flood. I think the best thing would be is if artists would really just flood the airways with new music. Brand your new music, put it out there. We don't need a carnival to put out new music, Preeti would say, Urfin Alves would do. Everybody else needs to get on that train, because I don't feel like the rest of the Soca artists, at least, are on that board. I think right now what they're doing is, don't forget me, keep my name intact, but I'm going to hold off to put that song out or that video out when carnivals come right back around. And the people themselves are like, well, I was waiting to put on my costume, and I was waiting to get this feeling, this vibe. If I don't have this feeling, this vibe, I'm not getting it. So we have to do a whole retraining for everybody. And now's the perfect time to really make Soca go global and have no season. Now is the perfect time.
I
I
totally
think if they're
agree.
able to do that, that would be good. But so many of them rely on the booking money in order to get their songs out there, talk to the songwriters, talk to the musicians. And if they're not making money right now, I think it might be difficult for them to actually create new music. They're not going to studios. They don't really have, you know, for most of our soca artists, most of our Caribbean artists, they don't have a stockpile of money to just kind of keep releasing music. So I think they might be suffering from that as well. The fact that they don't have shows, which is where the bookings and that money comes from, they don't really have the opportunity to create the new music, to get the studio time, to get it mastered, to distribute it. So I don't know that they actually can, in this day and age right now, with everything going on, really create the new music that, yes, if, in a perfect world, this would be a good time. I just don't think they have the resources to make that happen.
Well, I'm just thinking about the people who are sitting on things. Like, I had this song for a month and I'm waiting for a blank date to release it because that's that's the perfect time before such and such carnival. Those people, because there's, I think some people have strategically sheltered in place with producers, with people that they're other musicians, people that can help them create music and keep the musical flow going. So some people saw the sheltering come and they're ready for it. And so I guess we'll see who can flex and say they have a studio in their house and who can. I guess we'll see that real soon.
Okay, so among us lovely women with the know-how here, what are some did you even come up with or think of? What are some ideas do you think that would really look good on paper and on screen and for us to actually support them, to support artists when all of this COVID fog clears up? Because for me, I was like, take a nice island, rent it out, get people, let's go, everybody jump on a plane. I wish I had like that lotto money to get people on a plane and just go and support and get a big concert going. But something like a Reggae Sunsplash, but it doesn't have to be Reggae Sunsplash, just do it out of the context of raising funds for the artist. You know what I mean?
Well, I can tell you, you could do on SocaSayso for sure right now. I do a show every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right now it's on Instagram Live, and I play soca music every week, and I invite artists to come on. And the artists that come on, I will feature their music and talk about their career. So right now is prime time for people to come on and have a wide audience who's ready to listen, who wants to be entertained and wants to learn more about people. So they could definitely do that. That's number one. And I think they should also be working on their websites and working on
Can you please say that again? Say that again. Please.
I mean, I know that's Dyschick's line, so I definitely stole her line. I'll let her finish the thought.
Yes. I mean, if you're not creating music, now is a really good time to work on your brand, work on making sure that you have a website up with the collection of music, because you're going to start, it's like you're going to have to rebuild your audience after this anyway. So it's a really good time to like invest in yourself, invest in your brand, get your bio together, get your press kit together. When you could travel again, you can actually start promoting yourself like a professional. It is my line. I always say that. I think that some of these artists sometimes feel like, I'm big in Jamaica, I'm big in Trinidad, like I'm good. And it's like, no, there are people on the planet who don't know who you are. And this is a really good time to kind of think about how you're going to promote your brand once you are able to pitch yourself for a booking, for a show, for a concert. And also for the people who are, don't get it twisted, people are still now getting familiar with soca. Those people are looking for who the artists are. You should have your site and your information out there. It's a really good time, if you're not touring, to just sort of work on how you're going to promote yourself and how you're going to, reestablish your brand once you can start pitching again.
That is so important. Bless you. Okay, let me take a sip of that one. Take a sip.
I also think it's time for artists to really, they're going to have to change their thought process around social and how to interact with their fans, because now they have to put on that influencer content creator hat and compete with the rest of us. And you know, a lot of them are used to having 2 million followers and being able to post something every day because they're doing something every day. And now that they're not doing anything, they're not posting anything. So I think, like Deanna said, it's definitely time for them to think about their brand more. I mean, if I'm a soca artist, I'm trying to get on every Zumba Fit live session there is, because you can't take a Zumba class and not hear a soca song. You know, same with some of the EDM dancehall crossover, you know, music that you hear. Like, fitness is hot right now because everybody's doing it remotely. So, you know, the idea of popping into a live Zumba class that's taught by someone in every single region, like, they have no idea who the artist is behind their favorite Zumba song. So, you know, someone that comes to mind, like, there's always a Machel song in a Zumba class. I mean, he did, you know, the Zumba convention that they do every year, and he's like a top contender in terms of being able to be present, but he just might be tired. Like, I don't know. It's a mix. You know, I think some artists are just really just watching to see what happens in the space, and they're probably looking for recommendations, and they're looking for people to really give them ideas. And this is where your branding and your marketing team really play a part, if you have one. If you don't have any, like, this is the time to get on YouTube and see what other people are doing. There's a plethora of information on how you can climb charts, get on playlists, become content creators, putting out messages that are relevant. Show your boring day to day. People will watch it anyway. They're glued to their phones, but a lot of people just aren't doing anything. So I think that's the opportunity that they have.
No, that's definitely a good rundown. I know that a friend of mine had said, and you had touched upon this earlier, that some artists, actually, let me reel back a bit. One friend of mine put on Facebook, and she said, it's clear that those who are not doing Instagram lives are the ones that are kind of like failing their branding and failing their promotions, and like, why aren't you doing anything, and that kind of sort of text. And another artist friend of mine said, clearly not all artists feel like creating. Some are taking a break. Some are just sitting back and letting this roll. Some people may already have their promotions and everything together, highly unlikely. But like, let's be real, because I think the tone of everything has changed, especially now in this climate, right? So it would be great if they would use this time efficiently, just be efficient with it. But as she said, not everybody is in that tune to create. So some are just sitting back. So I think we kind of went over the fact that that's not really a good idea, but it would be.
I know I reached out to some artists to come on my show, and their management has said they're not doing any interviews right now. They're not doing anything major online. And you have to think about it that, you know, they're human too. And some of them are dealing with anxiety around COVID-19. Some of them are taking extra time to spend with their family because, especially in Soca, a lot of them just came off of a whirlwind of Trinidad Carnival. And now they have 5 seconds to breathe and actually sit down with their family members and really center themselves. And creativity is, I mean, they're full of creativity, but it's may not be working when you're dealing with this much anxiety. And so I hope that the ones who aren't putting anything out are taking a mental break and a physical break as well, because some people need to work out and get their stage presence ready, because that's also a big deal. Like, sometimes you see artists and you're like, you're clearly not in good physical health. When was the last time you slept? When was the last time you ate a vegetable? Like, take this time to rejuvenate yourself, your mind and your body. If you're not going to be putting out content right now, at least be the best you can be in this moment. I do want to say that there's I'm Grenadian, right? 100% Grenadian. I know a lot of people in Grenada love reggae, but I am 100% soca lover. But what I could see on the internets about reggae is that there are conversations about where the artists are staying. Do they have these palatial homes that they've really been talking about? Are they as really as grand? Who is coming out of prison? Who is going into prison? Who is paying fines in this time? There's a lot of stuff going on in the reggae world. I don't think it's all just music. So I don't know if Mikelah, if you could just get me up on what's going on the reggae side of things real quick.
Well, I think Spice is in Atlanta. She's on Love and Hip Hop, so she films out of Atlanta. So I think she brought her kids there. And then that's the only real update I've seen from a celebrity. I think Shensia's home with her kid. Popcorn seemed to be in the country with him grandparents, and he's just cooking, like literally cooking. So I think I honestly, like you said, Jamila, I think they're taking that time out to spend some time with family. But trust me, it's gonna, I feel like, yes, rest is indeed needed, but also there has to come a time where they reintroduce themselves to the public. So what that time is, I don't know. But for me, it's not even necessarily that they have to produce and release new music. They're probably sitting on catalog on top of catalog, and it's just like, I don't know about you guys, but I've been watching the whole Versus with producers, and what I love about that, I'm a credits junkie. So when I used to buy records at the record store, I would literally read the credits, learn their and you learn their signature sound just by knowing who they were and hearing that piano chord or that melody or something like that. So I really loved hearing the stories behind, and even with the quarantine clash that Walshy Fire did, and Bobby Condors and Jazzy T of Renaissance, which that is my sound, right? That's a gal sound. They really talked about the stories behind some of the dubs. Like they were literally, he was asked a question like, what was the hardest dub plate you ever had to cut? And they both was like Sizzler. And it's just like that, speaks volumes, but that's a story you would not have heard had you not tuned in. Mm-hmm. So I think there's so much stories behind the catalog of so many of the artists that we know and love. And even for new artists to really just share more than just their music. We all know, we are in this business. We know it's more than just the music that sells. It's the personality and the persona of who you are. So I think this is a great time to just showcase that. So I'm loving it, even if they're releasing music, not releasing music, but be productive is all I can say. And that could mean taking a break, or it could be getting on social and, participating with everybody else.
One thing we didn't touch on. I'm sorry. One thing we didn't touch on is all the zessin.
What? Sorry.
All the zest, the zest, that genre of music coming out of Trinidad right now. There's been a lot of
Wait, is it Zest or Trinidad?
No, zesting is the sound. Zesting is the sound. Yeah.
Okay, so
and there's a lot of artists.
I said me just buck up on the two of them, Zest and Trinidad.
So there are a lot of different artists that make that kind of music, and they're going live, and then people come on the live and do their dances. And I have heard that the dances get real out of hand. It's like worse than dancehall. Like it gets like real raw at times, because it's really like a dancehall vibe, and it gets real serious. So I don't know if you guys wanted to touch on that and what people should be doing and not be doing on the live, because there was one night last week where Instagram shut down sharing of lives. You could not bring somebody else on your live. And everyone was like, oh, of course, because that zesting last night was out of control. And I'm like, wow, why would a couple of videos really lead to shutting? I mean, we don't really know if that was the answer, but everyone was so quick to say, of course, what I was watching last night should not have been on Instagram. And that's probably why everyone had to lose rights one day.
You know what? I think this has been a problem on social media for the longest time. People forget that certain things are not necessarily meant for public consumption. And so, especially if you're doing like Instagram, Facebook Live, you're only seeing that other person. And in your mind, in your current state, you're not thinking about, oh, wait, a lot of people are going to see this and it's going to live there for a while. And let's say, because most of the people doing these dances aren't the hosts. Let's say the host decides to put this on YouTube, to keep it on Facebook, wherever it is. I think this is just a social media phenomenon. Like, people forget that sometimes these things can become permanent and you may not want to do this. But right now, people are just kind of like, I'm home. I don't care anymore. It's getting even more daring, shall we say? They're getting even more daring because they don't care anymore. They can't go out and enjoy themselves. So they're going to do it in their home, do it through the live, do it through the computer, the telephone, whatever. But yeah, I think I can't say that, because of these particular IG lives that caused them to say, no, you can't share. But I do think that even the hosts might want to take a second and just kind of let people know, remind them that this is a show. There's tons of people tuned in, and this may be on Instagram for 24 hours. It may go up on YouTube. I might screen grab it so I could promote it and tell people come to my next live. I just feel like that's a social media issue. People constantly forget this, that you
and
may
there's
not
no
be in control
bouncer
of
checking IDs
online.
There's no bouncer checking IDs.
Checking IDs.
True.
Yeah.
That's not a good look. I'm just learning about this, so as I get off, I'm going to be you.
And I think the hosts need to think about that too. But right now, especially if you're thinking like some of the DJs, the artists, they want the clout, they want people to come, and sex sells. We've had that discussion, so they want people coming on.
Yeah, I just think, when people get hype, them just get hype, and whether it's on live or it's in person, I think the people who are participating need to be a little bit more mindful, because and maybe they don't care. But at the same time, Instagram has a right. No, none of us own Instagram. None of us own Facebook or any of these platforms. So we have to be mindful that we will get blocked. I think Facebook was probably just annoyed with all the people going live using up their bandwidth from a technology perspective. And they were like, nah, no, you can't. So I think that, it might be a technical issue, or it might just be that, they saw it and they flagged it, or maybe someone else flagged it. Because like you said, it's an open platform. It's not Pornhub. So, let's be a little bit more mindful. And if that's what you're into, there's a platform for it. It's Pornhub. So, exactly. I think people get lost in the moment, and I understand it goes back to show you the power of music and the DJ. And sometimes you just go a little too far because you're feeling it. You know what I mean? So I don't blame them. I don't, dislike them. But, at the same time, we as people who are partaking in that have to be mindful. And that isn't necessarily limited to social. These are everyday happenings. So if she broke out upon live, she probably broke out in a party. She probably broke out in front of our, you know what I mean? Like, it's not new. It's not, it's a habit, you know what I mean? And it's
not new to us. That's the thing though.
It's not new to us. It's probably, we're letting people into the cookout. So, and letting everybody see what is going on. But I don't necessarily think that it's any different than, what we see on Carnival Monday, Tuesday. Like, it's the same thing, but it's not edited. It's raw, and it's in its dance hall format. That's what people love about dance hall is the rawness of it. And it's just that let loose nature. So I think that people just have to be mindful of of that. And I think, the people who are going live have to, be mindful of that too. But like you said, they don't really care. It's not them. So, it's really up to the individual. So you just got to be more mindful, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
But we've had
if
that
you put it out
discussion
there,
about the
regardless of where it is, it's out there. Even if it's gone in 24 hours, it's still out there. Somebody can find it. Somebody can
True.
pull it up. Somebody can screenshot. Somebody,
Mhm.
and it's the same thing I tell, anybody. If you put it out there for the internet, it's there.
Righto.
Yeah,
So
and we've
true.
had that discussion about, just like you said, carnival pictures, videos, because as carnival media, I guess we want to promote it in the best possible light. Obviously, we want to showcase the best parts of the culture, and we've had SocaSayso and I have had this conversation about just how sometimes people aren't, like you said, being mindful of what they're putting on the internet, what they're showcasing, what they're saying is Caribbean or carnival or dancehall culture. And you have to think you're going beyond just your limited circle. You're going to people who don't know what this is. And if you have all the videos and pictures from Carnival is about lewdness and raunchiness, then you can't get mad when people think that's what your culture is, right? We're the ones putting it out there. We have to be really careful about how we're representing ourselves and our culture. And not to say that, we don't want to promote it to the fullest, right? Because there are parts of dancehall culture, carnival culture that does have that sexiness to it. But you got to think in mind that people who are watching this may not come from, your culture. And so they're seeing this, and then that's the first impression they get. And of course, those are the videos that go viral. I'm not saying you can't have one or two videos, but those are the ones that we make go viral. Those are the ones that end up on, Shade Room, World Star, whatever. And that's how we're promoting ourselves. We really have to be careful about what we're putting out there. And then we can't get mad when a Joe Budden or somebody says your culture is lewdness and rudeness, because that's what you promoted. Essence didn't put that out, you did.
True. Very true. I'm looking at the time. I'm like, oh my goodness,
Yes, we're well over the time.
This should have been like an hour, not like half an hour, girl. Do we have like outtakes or something that's going to be put up? Because then we could go on for a little bit more. This is a great conversation. Okay, I just have one thing, just one question, real quick question. So we know that our people are resilient people, right? We're going to overcome. I mean, we're going to make this through. How do you feel we are going to, well, not as we, but the artists, how do you feel the artists are going to kind of come out of the rise like the phoenix, if you will, at the end of this? And do you think that it's going to be a long, dragged out process? Or do you feel that we'll kind of step into form and everybody will support and we'll be able to move on?
I think everybody who have money will be fine, which means the artists, you've been performing for years. If you're a person that's been performing for a long time, you'll be fine. I'm much more worried about the team members that help support them. So, but that's up to the employer to take care of them. Or, I think they're going to be the most challenged because there's just not a lot of work right now. So the artists will most definitely bounce back a year from now. They'll be performing and touring like nobody's business. But are there going to be venues? Are there going to be promoters that can support that type of? And so they might have to really step up. In my opinion, they might have to be able to support, get creative. So I think that's going to be the challenge. Personally, I think most artists are going to be fine unless you're like a rising artist or a super independent artist where, you really just do touring and that's it. That's going to be the biggest challenges. But I think for the our mainstream artists, I think that they'll be fine. And I think the rest of the industry will bounce back eventually. It'll just take some time. And I think a lot of money.
Anybody else like to add to that?
Yeah, of course. I think I think right now, everybody who is staying home, quarantining, working from home, whatever you call it, has to make a plan for your day. All right. In order to not just sleep your whole day away, you have to say, okay, I'm going to try and wake up by 8 a.m. I'm going to get work done by this time. I'm going to go get exercise at this time. I'm going to clean the house at this time. And that to try to create some normalcy and then to also still be productive in this time. I think the artists need to make an actual plan for the rest of this year. One that has both alternatives of, if there is no other carnival for 2020, how does the rest of my year look? If carnivals start up again in October, which seems like that's when the next big wave. I'm sorry, Grenada. Sorry, Grenada. Sorry, because Grenada, I think, is the only one that's like holding out right now. I think everybody else has called it, and Grenada is the only one like, what y'all think? But I think if you're an artist, you should just bypass. You should just assume I think you should assume 2020 is gone. But if you have to, best case scenario, I think come back in October, you start touring again. I think they have to make a plan for what does that look like. How quickly can I put out music? Where are the people that I need to reach out to, the producers that I need to work with? How do I stay in good stead with the promoters who are going to be coming back? Are they going to have enough money to come back? How do I keep in contact with my fans without exhausting myself? Because I'm telling you, some of these people are really going to just exhaust themselves, because some of these lives start out with 1 hour and next thing it's like 3 hours and they're still going. And now they're like drunk off their behind or just high off of the fans and the love. And it's like, but you have to sleep though. So if you do this week after week after week, because you feel like we're going to be on quarantine forever, and then perhaps it's done and you have to now be a regular artist again. I think all of the artists need to make a serious plan of what they're going to do from now for the rest of the year, and how they're going to make money. Because we know how you can stay relevant. There's still more that people can do to stay relevant, but we know at least a handful of ways. But they need to know how to make money. And that's what a lot of artists just get on planes, hop to make their money. And those people need to sit and figure out, how do you monetize without getting on a plane?
Yeah, I fully agree with that. I also think it's also a good time to kind of look at your team. Like, this is a really good time to just look at your team. Do you have somebody who is helping to still push your brand? Do you have somebody who is helping you still be the best artist? Do you have somebody who's like, okay, let's take a look and see, what kind of music you've created, really establish your brand, etc. I think, so many times I've heard of artists who have managers, which is basically something from your booking or a Gmail address, so that you don't necessarily have to tell that promoter no. I think it's a time to really think of, what do I need for my team? You definitely want to create a plan. You want to promote your brand. Maybe some people need to reinvent themselves a little bit. It might be a good time to just kind of think, am I staying, on trend? Am I keeping up with the times? But I really think they need to look at their teams and think, do I have the support I need for my business for a time like this? Do I have the support I need for, I want to write music? Am I still doing all the cold calling to songwriters all over the place? Am I doing that myself? Am I sure how I'm going to get the bookings? Do I know who to reach out to? Am I doing everything myself? And now I'm exhausted, or I need time, or I'm dealing with the trauma of this. It's a really good time to just sort of look at your team, make sure you have the people on your team that you need. And while you're figuring out how you want to resurge when we are able to, have the tours and you're able to get booked, really just think about, do you have what you need to continue to maintain a presence in the music industry?
Those are some valid points. I hope Soca artists are listening, producers, DJs, all of you guys. Just drop some solid gems for you guys. That's all I have to say. I'm done.
I know this should be like a 2-hour thing, right? I am not a Soca artist, but I feel like right now I've got some actionable items to start my career. Mm-hmm. I don't have the talent yet, but I can market myself. I have learned so many things. So you all, thank you so much. I was going to ask you all if you had one chance to tell your favorite artist one thing that they needed to do. What would that be? You only have like, because you know how they move fast. They're coming out of a fet or something and they're moving fast. You've got like 20 seconds, maybe 30, to tell them how to change their lives. I'm going to start with Mikelah. What would you do? What would you say?
Would you keep it coming? Big up team, would you keep it coming? Driver, don't stop at all.
She said, I don't need your 90 seconds, your 30 seconds, your 20 seconds. I got a couple of words. Okay.
I love it.
We got that. Jamila, what would you say?
Don't come to me. I'm not ready.
I know, right? I'm sitting here trying to.
You're on the spot. You're on the spot. Okay, so we're gonna come back to you, Deanna. I know you have it. You ready? Deanna, what would you say?
Talk to me. Talk to me.
Oh,
Hire her.
It's time to contact Dyschick because I'm gonna help you get your brand together. I'm gonna help you get your bio together. I'm gonna help you reach out to media contacts, other content creators. You need to talk to me. I'd slide them my number. Check me. Slide my DM.
Look, y'all stay ready. Yes. Okay. So look at Jamila. She's like, well, now we done got her card. What am I saying? Okay.
Look,
what you gonna tell?
I was gonna basically say the same thing, but I didn't want to say the same thing. But you got to come on Tune Tuesday. Period. You have to come on Tune Tuesday. Every time an artist comes on Tune Tuesday, they're like, whoa, I didn't even know I had that many songs.
Yes.
I didn't know my fans wanted to hear my voice this much. I thought they just wanted to hear the songs. I didn't know they wanted to listen to me and find out about my brand. Come on Tune Tuesday is what I would tell them for sure.
Now, y'all coming out. Y'all supposed to name a specific artist.
Oh, hello, hi.
And who you would tell them?
Let me come in close.
Who would you slide your card?
Let me come in close.
SocaSayso live.
I go
Tuesday.
I already know the answer. Go ahead, Jamila.
Let me tell you one thing. I'm going straight to the top of every drip and drab of soca. Marshall, Lava Man, Talpree, and Asa Banton. I need you on Tune Tuesday because you're getting soca, jab, and bouillon music. Moto can come on for Dennery. Listen, Marshall. Okay, sorry. 30 seconds. All
right,
up.
There we go. All right, Dyschick, who you sliding your card to?
That's a good one. You know what? I'm sliding my card to every Guyanese artist. You want to know why? Because they get so big in Guyana. They do shows and the fields are crowded for them. But outside of Guyana, a lot of people don't know them. To every single Guyanese artist, because I'm going to help you get that brand out there, get that awareness out there. I already do it for the spotlights on my page. So I'm sliding my card to every single Guyanese artist. Big up my people.
So that leaves me, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you guys can hear me? Because I've been fighting with my Bluetooth. Okay, cool. Can I cheat?
Go ahead.
I would actually just island hop and be behind everybody when they get off the stage. Slide my card because I am an editor and copywriter and I write content. So I would be right behind this. It was Dyschick that said it, right? I believe you were saying about websites, and I said we need to get those up. That is one constant peeve that I have with artists that I used to work with. If I'm going to search you and search for your music,
that don't have websites.
Websites, press releases, I write them all. I'm good. Whatever it is that you need where words are concerned, I am there for you. Because there are a lot of people, and like you said, the pretend managers and the this and the that. I mean, you need somebody that's going to give you consistent copy. You need somebody who's going to give you what you need on your website, because that's a huge branding tool. And if you don't have that up, you are in trouble. You need that. Excuse me, when social media is done, everybody's still going to your website. You need a website. Social media will not be there like 100 years down the line. Who knows? Maybe it will be, but you can't depend on that. You need a website. So I always start with websites, and then we can work our way up from there. But you get in a card, and I'm going to tell you I'm your content manager as of now. Contact me. Thank you. Peace.
Yes,
Oh,
social media is
see?
capture land. Have your
See?
own things.
So, on that note, it is time to tell everyone what you're doing. And I have a feeling I know what's going to come from two of you because your branding is fantastic. Like, I just know. Look at this Deanna. Look at her. Look at her. Go ahead, toss your hair. Put it behind your ears. Yes. So their branding is on point. So we're gonna start. First, tell us your who you are. We see your names on the screen, but please tell us who you are, where you're from, and what your biggest project is, what you're promoting right now, what's going on, and we will start with AMC.
Oh, you're starting with me.
I'm
Okay.
starting with you.
Hi guys, I'm AMC. It's Anne-Marie Collymore, but better known as AMC in the internet streets. I am on a double whammy here, so you see SocaSayso.com. That is my blog that has been around for the longest time. I usually focus on culture and music, and usually soul music, because that's my niche, independent soul. But I'm just a music lover all around. And soca, calypso, dancehall, all of that good stuff is ingrained in my soul because my parents are from St. Lucia, so it's an island thing, as y'all know. Apart from that, I also own my small business, which is a copywriting and editing business. So I create web content, press releases. I feel like I'm singing myself here, repeating myself, but content, press releases. I love book editing. That has been my thing. And I also have 2 social medias. If you really want to get to know me, I am on soulaphrodisiac.com all day. You can find me on most social media platforms as Soul Aphrodisiac. And if you're looking for my business, that's SAO Consulting. And that's all I got. What am I working on? A new podcast is coming. I had a podcast for a while. I have a new one coming up soon. Follow me on my socials and you'll get to know all of the good stuff that's coming up. That's it.
Congrats.
Thank you.
So next, let's have Mikelah. You tell us what's going on.
Yes, guys, I'm Mikelah of styleandvibes.com. By day, I actually am a digital marketer for a consumer business, consumer goods company. So I have a lot of expertise in marketing, influencer marketing, digital media. So Style and Vibes is a Caribbean digital platform which showcases all the best of all of the Caribbean. I'm looking forward to growing that into the digital platform that I wanted to see when I was growing up. I'm right now focused on the Style and Vibes podcast, where I have conversations related to Caribbean culture every other week. So you guys can check out more on styleandvibes.com/podcast. And please subscribe, share with your friends. I think it's important to continue this conversation. If you love the energy here, then it's times 10 because it's just me one and whoever I'm talking to that day. So thank you, Eva, for having me. I'm all available on all social platforms. Just check the website and you'll get all the links to where I am. I'm looking forward to connecting with everyone after this.
Awesome. Okay, so let's see. Jamila, you go next. Let's see what you got going.
All right. So much. So my name is Jamila, even though everybody calls me SocaSayso. I run SocaSayso. I am a vlogger and I create content solely around soca music. I really feel that soca is an amazing genre and it's full of talented people. And I am just here to showcase all of that. So everything I do is about telling the world how great the music is, and really showcasing the producers, the DJs, and the artists that make it. So like I said earlier, on a weekly basis, every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Instagram Live, I do a show called Tune Tuesday, where for 1 hour, I play soca tunes. Sometimes we mix calypso in there. And then we also have some artists and producers that come in for interviews from time to time. I've also recently put out a new vlog about lessons I've learned from Trinidad 2020 Carnival. That's on my website at SocaSayso.com. I also have a side thing because I am very West Indian and I cannot just do one thing. So I have a day job, but then I also recently started putting out to the world that I interpret dreams. And so I am using all social media under J Dreaming, JAYDREAMINGG. And to talk about how what your dreams are trying to tell you about your conscious self. So what your subconscious is trying to tell you about your conscious, what your dreams are not symbols that are what you thought, you dream of fish, that means somebody's pregnant necessarily and things like that. I don't go that route. I'm not that kind of West Indian. What I do go by is what I do think is that everything is a symbol, but that symbol is really, really authentic to you as a person. And so your dreams are really trying to tell you that you're not really thinking about these things while you're awake. And since you didn't really give thought to this pressing matter, we're going to show you in movie format while you're asleep is what your brain is telling you. So you can contact me at JDreaming on Facebook and Instagram, or directly an email, jdreaming@gmail.com. And I can talk to you about what your dreams are trying to tell you. But in the Soca world, it is all social media, SocaSayso. And then also I will segue into Dyschick by telling you that you should subscribe to bkrantandrave.com. That is the podcast that we have together where we talk about Caribbean issues of the day and always end it with a wonderful soca tune. So we rant and then we rave. So that's a good segue.
Yes. Now we're ready. Here we go. bkrantandrave.com. Like that's so stuck in my head right now.
Mm-hmm. As it should be.
Let's do this.
As it should be. Any true soca lover should be signed up to bkrantandrave.com. Subscribe to the podcast. We talk about, just the issues affecting the Caribbean community. And as Jamila said, we always end it with a soca tune. It doesn't have to be a new soca tune. It might be a soca tune you never heard. That one song that Neutron sang in the bathtub. Yes, we have that. So we always like to end it with something that's relevant, to leave it on a positive note. But for me, I do Dyschick.com. I am a blogger. I write. I am a writer. That's how I process information. And so I write about Carnival and really try to introduce the music and the culture to the neophytes. So to the people who are not too familiar with what playing mass is, what soca is, what a fete is, you would go to Dyschick.com to find out. And then also check out my spotlights where I interview artists, I interview creators, and just get you familiar with the people that are making the music that you are chipping down the road to. So you can go to Dyschick.com for all of that. You'll see everything. And it'll also lead you to the podcast. And right now, we have a contest going on where we are giving away a domain name and a web landing page. For those people who do not have a website, you can enter the contest on bkrantandrave.com and win a free one from Andrew's Technology Group, who actually created my page and SocaSayso's page, if you want a sample of the work they do. So yeah, go to Dyschick.com. You'll find out everything. Subscribe to the podcast at bkrantandrave.com.
So I'm going to put that up there so everybody can see that.
I see it.
Yay.
Because it's in my head.
Subscribe.
I can't believe the first time that I forgot the .com, because that's, it's in my head right now.
It's in your head. It's in your head. That's great. You're a soca lover. Of course it's in your head.
Of course. Well, thank you all so much for doing this.
Thank you.
One time around, everybody just tell me where you're from. Just Go around the little circle of y'all. Almost sitting here.
Soca, St. Lucia, man.
St. Lucia.
Jamaica.
Grenada.
Guyana.
And my people are from Trinidad. Look at the beauty of this.
Can we raise a
wonderful.
glass?
Listen, I'm almost done. On hurry up. No.
There you go.
Your glass is too small.
Thank you, Eva. Thank you so much.
It did
guys-
full. It did full.
Thanks
So
so
you
much,
know-
Eva.
You know, y'all could do this like for hours, but thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate you. Everybody, please make sure that you go to everybody's social media. We will have it listed. Right now, if you go to everyone's page, everyone on SocaMomSummit.com has their own page. So you can find all of their social media. You can just run through and follow everybody. If you look through the schedule, you find this, you find everybody that was on this session, okay? So thank you so much, everybody, for taking your time to do this. And I hope that the Caribbean music artists have been listening and they're ready to make their websites and get their presence together or get their minds together and sleep and relax so they can be ready physically and mentally for the road because it's coming in 2021. We believe it. I
2021.
feel it. I
For
feel
sure.
it.
We're all going to be broken at the end of 2020. We tell you. Jumping and fighting and carrying on. We got to do.
Survival of the fittest. I'm telling you.
There will never be
Yes.
another empty
Better
party.
start the stretches
Never.
now.
Never.
Mm-mm.
I mean,
Not
you might even
missing
see
me.
me out there. Deanna, you might see me. You know I don't go. You
All
might
right,
see
Deanna, me
I
and you
know,
next
we're gonna
year for
drag
Jamaica
Soca
Carnival.
on.
I that's something there.
Oh, I gotta go. Me too. I'm in it.
We in there. We in
I ain't
there.
everything.
So, ladies, I'll see you. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye.